Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 16th of January. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. This week we have the Fang ETF, Net Wealth, Tyen, Mesoblast and Petrm. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter. But our best recommendations come out on Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so please make sure you are getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management, so if you have more than $500,000 to invest and you'd like my personal help, then please give me a call, and the advice here is general only. So this is the weekly chart of Fang. Obviously, pretty closely tracks the Nasdaq, and as we could see in the past 2 years, it's been in a fairly powerful uptrend. Looking like it's run a little bit hot here. If we switch to the daily chart, it has dropped under this low. So if you're looking at sort of your higher highs and higher lows, that's the previous low, and it did dip under that. So potentially that's a sell signal, but we'll see what happens today. If it sort of gaps back above this line and we get it, and basically that's only a false break on the downside, then it starts to look positive again, and we should expect it to recover. Okay, Net Wealth. So it's obviously had a really good run over the past year or more. Most recently, it has been fairly volatile. We've seen sort of just a bit of a rejection as it tried to go to a new high, and then as it sort of rallied back towards that previous peak, it's rejected again. So it is a bit of a negative sign. What's interesting though is the next major low in this uptrend was this October low. So it is under that, but again, on a positive session today, if you see it sort of jump back above this line, then again you might expect to see a bit of upside. But of course, this level here is going to be a bit of a problem. So short term, if it's back above here, that's a positive. If it runs up here and finds resistance again and makes another lower high, then that would be a negative. Otherwise, if it can break above here, then all of this consolidation is over, and that would be a good sign. Tyen, so probably better to get back to the weekly chart on this. So looking back, say the last 5 years, very messy chart, very volatile, but essentially what we could see is that it's back towards the top of this sort of longer term trading range. So it's run really hard, but now it's at the top of that range. So you'd have to treat that, I think, just looking at this weekly chart, as a potential sell signal, in case it falls back into the range. Otherwise, if it can clear these peaks, maybe consolidate sideways and clear these peaks, then that would be that would be a buy signal. Okay, Mesoblast. Obviously, it's been very volatile for a long time. This is a weekly chart going back the last 5 years, but we could see in the past year it has got a bit of a trend going. If we just switch to the daily, we could see that we had a sort of a gap up here on volume as a buy signal, then it consolidated sideways, and then sort of breaking out of that sideways consolidation was, I think, the last major buy signal. Mesoblast obviously doubled in price. Now it looks like it's run a bit hot, and we've got a bit of selling coming in. So essentially you've got, it's run to this new high, but instead of like an easier consolidation sideways like this, you're seeing a sharper downwards move. So around this level here, it's sort of halfway between, I'd say, support down here at this gap, and resistance up here at the old high. So I mean, what do you do here? Look, I think that potentially it's a sell. It needs to, I think, sort of slow down again, and we need to give it more time to basically establish what it wants to do next. Okay, and Petrm. So we could see there was a massive sort of gap up here. You know, really big move on huge volumes, so that would have been obviously a major breakout buy signal. Now we've reached a point where there does seem to be a bit of indecision. So a couple of days ago it ran to a new high and then closed all the way back here, which was a negative, but then yesterday it pulled back but then rallied off the lows. So you know, these two candles combined is basically showing us the stock's gone nowhere. It's tried to go up there, tried to go down there. You know, where is it going to go next? So I think, you know, as a hold, I'd probably use yesterday's low as a stop level. So clearly if that's where the buyers are coming in, you don't want to see it drop under that. For a buy signal, look, I think you'd want to see it settle down again. It's getting a bit wild here. We don't know what it wants to do next. So I think I'd just be patient with this one. Okay, well, that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and we'll try to cover it next Thursday.